You're good to go.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
How did that happen?
I'm so done, dude. Okay. Episode 23. If you enjoy it, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, this is what I'm rolling with because I know you lined that up on purpose that you were waiting. I could see the smirk in your face just waiting to go again on it because you knew it would bug me.
I felt like that was an accident again, dude.
No, it was not.
All
dude.
clear, Chief.
Dude, he literally, I knew as soon as I went he was gonna do it. I saw the lineup in his face of him, like, preparing. He was smirking. He was like, I'm waiting. Okay, gotta get the timing right. Like, he was calculating.
That timing was perfect, so props to me.
I knew you were
Both
doing it on
times.
purpose, bro. Oh,
So we rolling? We're into Nobody Named Kevin podcast.
yes, we are.
Correct?
Yeah, we're already
Alright.
in, dude. Yeah, we're already in.
All right. Not named Kevin. Not this guy.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Yep.
It just starts falling apart from here. We just cut it off here. All right, guys, that was the podcast.
Becomes our most
30
viewed
seconds.
episode. 100 views in one day.
Because it qualifies as like a short, and then like somebody shares it to TikTok, and then it just like
It just grabs for some reason.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand what the point. Like, I kind of like the YouTube short idea, but it's just TikTok, and like almost every video that I watch, down in the corner or somewhere, there's like a watermark where it says TikTok. It's just a video that's moving. I'm like, do people really do YouTube short, or is it just like they're just gonna have their version?
Well,
Just like Instagram had their Snapchat story or whatever.
Everything has a TikTok. Like TikTok is so big, and it's funny because Gary Vee called it like years ago. He was like, "I'm going to tell y'all the next big thing, and 90% of y'all are not going to get on it." He's like, "TikTok is the next thing," and he said it for like years, like when it was first came out. He's like, "TikTok is the next big thing," and like no one really paid attention. YouTube has a TikTok, right? The shorts, and then the layout buttons are like TikTok. Instagram Reels, it mirrors TikTok, and it has the buttons. And then even Reddit now. I haven't been on Reddit in forever, but when Clayton sent that video of the girl doing the kickflip, I clicked the video. It's exactly like TikTok. It goes like, it's like up arrow, down arrow, comment. Like everything.
Reddit's had that for a while, though. I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been on in forever.
That's how the mobile
to me
has been laid out.
Yeah, Reddit like a
like
a slideshow.
No, it's different than it used to be. It would like you'd click the video and pop out. Now it's built like a TikTok where you can go infinite.
So it depends on the layout. You can pick like at the top. Yeah, you can, if you want card, classic, or media gallery. If you do the card, I believe is what it is like this one, like it just scrolls through and this guy's video just plays. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
or
no, that's different. That's what I'm used to.
That's how I've.
Oh, that's what you use. Oh, okay.
If you like, yeah, it depends on the layout you use,
man.
Dude, what?
No, like the video, but the one you sent, when I clicked it, it went TikTok style. It was like the exact layout of TikTok.
Well, like maybe
it wasn't like the one
link it was clicked. Maybe just because it went through the link.
But the point is, yes, everybody's copying.
But everyone's
that
used
style.
That format. Like even Vine had similar format to that before, didn't they?
Yeah, it was like 30, 60 seconds.
No, Vine was 6 seconds.
No, Vine was 6 seconds.
Oh, dang, I was way off.
Yeah, but I mean that layout of like upvote, downvote, and then like comment. I can't remember. Did they have comments on Vines or not?
They had comments on Vines. They'd revine, like, and comment. But
you're talking
just the idea of what I'm saying, making TikTok is vertical videos up to a minute, and then they scroll infinite, and then the buttons are in the bottom right corner, and it just goes and goes and goes.
You know, when you said the one about the Instagram like story, to me, because that came out, I remember the update happening after Snapchat got like real big. Like to me, it reminded me of a Snap story because they're all circles, and you click on it, it can either be pictures or
Reels.
Oh, Reels! What the? I don't even
Reels
know
on Instagram it's the same thing.
I mean, they all.
Oh, I've never even seen that thing.
What? It's like one of the main buttons now at the bottom. It's like,
dude, I've never even noticed that.
Oh my god!
I'm about to wait. Real? Oh, Yeah, that looks like TikTok.
Wow, dude.
Dude, I didn't. I thought always I
It
saw that
replaced-
button, but I was like, that probably means
replaced-
record or something.
No, that's the button that used to be upload. Now the upload button's in the top right.
Huh. Interesting.
That's all, they replaced the main button. Yeah. But it's like everything's like a video platform now too, because like there's this girl I went to school with. She has an Instagram page for her photography, and she's always sharing photos, of course, like a photographer would. But the other day, like she posted a video of an Instagram reel, and she's like, so apparently Instagram is now a video app. And like she has like probably less than 1,000 followers. That video she posted got over 12,000 views, and it's climbing. And like her photos don't blow up like that though, but the video she posted grabbed and took off. And then like the same day I got recommended a YouTube video, and the thumbnail was Instagram's dead, it's not a video platform. So it's like everything's a video platform.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Like all of them have been self-perpetuating like that for like a long time. They've all kind of always followed the same design. Like, you know, you had your Snapchat story, then Instagram did their like little stories and stuff like that. Like all of them have always kind of copied each other. If something takes traction, everybody grabs it. This is just the one that everyone seems to be noticing. It's like, oh, everything seems to be doing like the TikTok style.
Mhm.
I think it is kind of annoying too that everything has to be everything. Like everything, like it's 2017 was when everything got stories. Every app had a story function. LinkedIn has stories. Like what do you need to add to that?
I didn't
like,
even know LinkedIn was
now,
a social platform. I thought that was where you get jobs.
It's meant to be like a networking, like corporate kind of.
That was like an Indeed.
No. Okay. If it were meant to be jobs, it would be just like Indeed, but there's a section on it that's just for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's like a very, very professional Facebook is the idea behind it. But then there's a button on there for jobs. You can search through jobs, but the idea is, you know, you follow recruit, like you link up with, you can network, maybe DM a few people, and then get your foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like Indeed, you don't have like a page on Indeed and like a story, and like, you know, you don't like post a status on Indeed. You know
That would make me more nervous.
Grinding, still unemployed out here. Like that's not an Indeed. LinkedIn, people do that. Yeah, you'll put it in like the header.
Some people call me unemployed. I call myself an entrepreneur.
Dude, that is like what's weird to me about like our generation. Like how many people will take like, oh, I run an Etsy shop or a Wish section, and they consider themselves business owners. Like that's so weird to me. Like it feels like it's not really a business owner, because like anyone can do it. Like the barrier to entry is so easy. So it's like, I don't know, like I guess very technically you're a business owner, but I'm more like, I don't know, I feel like you need to be at a certain level for me to like put weight behind it. You know what I mean?
To me, it's you are a business owner, because it's just like if you own a Sonic or McDonald's, you didn't create Sonic and McDonald's. You're like a franchisee, right? You're just using someone else's platform and you pay royalties. Well, Etsy, you're not a franchisee, but you're using their platform to sell some product that you do make. So you have like a storefront, just like eBay. I consider people who make 100,000 or more, you know, or whatever, like they make a living off eBay. That's a business.
You're making like a huge thing. That's what I'm saying, is like anyone can start Etsy. Like there's plenty of people who have like little Etsy stores that don't make any money. So it's like, I don't know if I count them as a business. Like very technically they are, but when I think business, I think like a lot more money flowing in. So I'm like, what do I consider, like in my mind, what do I consider like a minimum income to be making off like one of these things for me to consider it a business in my mind? You know what I mean?
I gotcha. I thought you were talking about like what it is.
And even to the degree of why an income level, you could run a snow cone stand that makes like $1,000 a month and just kind of pays for itself and gets you a little like it's a business. You're not a
Mhm.
millionaire, but it's a business. Like
You do own a business.
it's
I don't know. I think it's the
a
fact
lot.
that it's so like because like a snow cone shack and stuff like that. Like you got to have some form of real estate to a degree. Like you have to have something worked out. Like I don't know why that seems more businessy than me to me than just like okay, let me just create a profile on here. All right, I rolled twine together, buy it. Like I don't know. It just
It's, to me, it's the same as if they went to, like a flea market and set up a shop and they're like, I rolled twine together. But now they can show pictures of their twine to everyone on the internet. Like, that's the only difference to me. It's the same thing. They're still a salesperson. They're still a store. I mean, they're creating something, selling it.
I think the
It's a
problem
business
is
to
with
me.
the word is some of that word's been ruined. Like also the word entrepreneur has been ruined
yes.
because it got attached to a certain lifestyle. So it's like, yeah, like let's say you open an Etsy shop and like you sell like one thing, like one drawing, and you're like, yeah, entrepreneur lifestyle. Like it's like it's kind of like
Yeah.
that word has been tainted because like when I talk to an entrepreneur in real life, they don't call themselves that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a thing. They're not like, nice to meet you, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, it's not a real thing. Like, I'm like, what do you do for a living? And they're like, oh, I have this, and this. There's not like, it's just not a thing at all.
Well, like, I also consider, like, I don't know, I feel weird because I think, like, entrepreneur is trying something that's never been tried before. Like, risking a lot on a business that has a completely different model.
I think that's just
I'd say yes and
Like,
no.
when I think
I think that's
entrepreneur,
just
I think of someone who's going a very unconventional route, like a very unique business idea. They're risking a lot on it. Like, that's what I consider an entrepreneur. Like, if
That's
someone were to just, like, buy and start a gas station, like, it's been done, so I don't know if I consider that to be an entrepreneur other than just,
I
like, I
definitely
consider you
do.
more just a business person.
I would
You're
see
still
that's what's
taking a
funny.
huge
I'm
risk.
showing,
You're pulling out assets
that's
and
what's
money to
showing.
take that risk, bro. And how are you going to think of an original
entrepreneurship.
idea? We've talked about that before. Thinking of an original idea, an original business. I mean, everyone's business. Like I was thinking the other day, like people. I think Devin said it. People do buy based off brand, right? Or like your picture. So like I was delivering food for Uber, and Mr. Beast Burger. He sells burgers, right? He doesn't have a restaurant. Mr. Beast Burger is sold out of it's either on the border or Applebee's, and it's just like a front location. And they just give me a white bag that has his logo on it, and people pay extra for it, and it's made it like another restaurant. So like it's all the same crap, but I still consider him an entrepreneur, and like he's building a business. Like that's separate from his
See,
YouTube.
I
But
don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't consider him an entrepreneur.
I
I
do,
would
dude.
definitely consider him an
Definitely.
Like,
entrepreneur
I don't
because
know.
the
I
thing is
guess
if you
it's
take
like
a massive risk on something that's never been done, you're one of two categories. One, you're an absolute beginner and you have no idea what you're going to do and you're going to get smoked, or you are a expert level and you know how it's going to work. The difference being Elon, Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos knowing that they're taking a risk, but not having the experience to make it work or have a good chance of winning, versus a beginner trying to do a business model they can't do it all. The same as a beginner saying, I'm going to do a switch backside 360 flip. No, you're not. You're not going to do that in the next 2 years.
see, I have
It's the same thing.
the mindset
You don't
of
have the experience.
what's his name? I know he was on Jordan Belfort's podcast, but like I agree with his definition of entrepreneur. He's like someone who's like literally risking almost everything he has or she has to try to get this business off the ground. Like Mr. Beast starting that, I don't consider that. I guess it's just that's my perception of the word. So I don't consider that like he was still secure regardless of whether that failed or not. Like he was not gonna go under his
True.
life. Like I don't know. I feel like there's a level of risk that has to be met for me to kind of consider it to a degree.
So are you saying people can
Which I
only
think
be
is-
entrepreneurs when there's risk? Because I mean, what
Yeah,
about
that's
when
why I
they're
was like, that's
successful
kind of weird
entrepreneurs?
because like he has the same risk of that thing he did could have failed. Him being successful is smarter. He has a
Yeah,
safety
but,
net.
like, I feel like
That
there's other words to being a business person than entrepreneur. Like when I think entrepreneur, I think it's like a subcategory of being a like a business like owner. Like you know what I mean? Like
well, like
I
an
feel like there's different echelons, different stack rankings, and to me, entrepreneur is like huge risk, could completely go under. Like this could ruin this person's life, but they're taking a risk because they believe in the business. Like I don't know, maybe that's my perception of entrepreneur.
that, yeah, and that's just a level of passion and a mix of either smarts or stupidity. Like, because I mean, you can really, an entrepreneur just means like you have a business and you employ people. A solopreneur would be it's all your own. So like, yeah, like that. I mean, because like Shrin's saying, I guess to another point is like all he did was take something that already exists, burgers, and he's like, I'm gonna do this business model, you know, because like I'm gonna do like the Etsy thing is I'm gonna do the Etsy business model. I'm gonna do the Fiverr business model or social media marketing or drop shipping. You have business models, and then you can just be an entrepreneur within those things or solopreneur.
Well, and also the main thing is, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, keep going.
Well, I was just gonna say the main thing is like you pick a model, right? And then off the model, really even more important than that is your brand, because that's what separates you and that's what gets your customers. Because I guarantee you, there's no difference between a Mr. Beast burger and the burger at either, I can't remember if it was On the Board or Applebee's that I picked it up at, but there's no difference in their two burgers other than the label.
I think to another degree where I guess I'm kind of like talk out of both sides of my mouth and almost defeat my own point, but podcast is a model. It's been done a gajillion times, and we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, but none of
we didn't invent.
Yeah, but
which is in podcasts we're a model based off radio.
We're entrepreneurs or anything, right?
That's what I'm saying. Then that's what I'm saying. I'm defeating my own point by saying that too, to a degree of like I'm not going to be like I'm an entrepreneur because I sit on Zoom once a week. I don't feel that way at all. But it's really just it's a different avenue of that.
Yeah,
but
like,
things have been done. Like
I feel like there's real entrepreneurs, and then there's like the people who are just like normal business people who own businesses, and they're like, I'm an entrepreneur, and it's like, you're just not. Like I don't know. Maybe it's like an energy level to it. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I think when all of us think entrepreneur, like we think of something, and we all assign these like remarkable qualities to them that are almost like mythical to a degree, like this hope and this drive and this passion. You know what I mean?
I don't.
Like that's what I assign to an entrepreneur. Like other than that, like if like you talk Elon and stuff like that, like he's doing incredible things, but I feel he's more calculated than I don't know. I just don't feel the passion.
He's an entrepreneur
he talks about these things.
No, he is more of the definition of an entrepreneur than like that would be if you were going to take your definition of risk, losing everything, insane dedication. That's Elon. Sleeping in his own factories, almost 3 businesses almost failing all at the same time. That would literally be your definition. Like so
he almost did lose it all. Like,
yeah, he did. I know. So that's what I'm saying. Like he's like the Tony Hawk. Like when you say skateboarder, people are like Tony Hawk. Elon is that same for that. Like if you're like entrepreneur,
I don't know.
That's like that realm.
I just feel like what's the I don't know how to describe it. Like I feel like what's the point of being like the difference between a business owner and entrepreneur, right? Like I don't know. I don't like the fact that they're synonyms because it's almost like the double speak of it. You know what I mean? Like
I would say people that categorize themselves probably are not.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but like there's clearly a difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner.
I see what you're saying. Like someone who just like if I somehow saved up money and like bought a Sonic franchise, like the restaurant fast food chain, and I own one, and that's all I ever do. Like I just own that and I'm comfortable with my life. Like I would just be a business owner. Like, but if I was an entrepreneur, maybe I buy that Sonic and after so many years, I take my profit from that and then I go buy like 2 McDonald's and I turn a profit from that. Then I open up a
Yeah,
business I care
maybe
about.
it's more the driven side of it, of like
Yeah,
they
instead of
don't
just
get
chilling.
content.
Mm.
Because like Elon could have easily just banked off the fact that like he had a huge deal to do with PayPal and everything like that. Like he could have just left on that.
He could have retired a long time
But he
ago.
kept going. So maybe it's
Yeah.
that. It's like people who are actually looking to always expand and grow what they have. They're not just satisfied by that one thing.
Yeah, and you never know because there's different milestones. Like PayPal was just a milestone or stepping stone, whatever you're gonna call it, for him to get to his passion. He's like, I'm really good at this. I can figure out a solution to this problem, make money off it. Then I can do what I want. You know, that was his risk. He risked his success on his passion.
Maybe like,
That's what the guy from Impact Theory did. He made Quest bars. Quest bars, which I know you've had, Schwinn. It's like $1 billion company. He sold it for like over $1 billion. Maybe he sold for $1 billion, but it's a $1 billion valuation of a protein bar company. Sold it, and then now he just does those, like, you've probably seen the Impact Theory interviews. Like he's done Rob Dyrdek. He's done like gurus. He's just done anyone you can think of that has a great story. He's interviewed, and he does it a certain way. Like he interviewed the guy who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. He interviews like just impactful people, and like he condenses it to 45 minutes. He has a certain style of doing it, but that's what he said to in one of his interviews. He's like, your first business is your money business. Your second one is your dream business. So now he's like, he wants to compete with Disney on a level of like animating and stuff. So even though he's doing great with Impact Theory, he also wants to create like a comic book and an animation studio. Mm-hmm. So there is a level to that of.
See, like,
I think that's
maybe what it is. Yeah. Is there's still more of that passion drive to it. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, you
like,
said it pretty well.
I think entrepreneur when I think passion like that. Like you may start one thing, but that's not your only thing, and that's not where you're quitting. You're still driving for more.
Business owner, money business, entrepreneur, dream business. Mm-hmm. I feel like that was a pretty good separation. How Devins had that. But...
yeah, I feel like that's.
Did y'all watch the
penis rocket?
The Amazon, yes, Amazon penis rocket, and then Virgin's flight too.
I have literally.
It looks like a cock.
Literally just.
It's like out of the movie
pictures, dude. It is literally a penis.
Wait, so did it already take off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that was like 2 or 3 days ago, man. Yeah, it was like, dude, it was out of West Texas.
Everybody just gave him shit for the fact that he was like, oh, thank you to all my employees. Y'all made it possible by making me all this money. Like, dude, it was such a tone-deaf thing to say of like, thank you to all my workers. Y'all are the ones who made this possible, while like everyone's bitching that they don't get paid enough, that they're being forced to pee in bottles and stuff. It's like, I get what you were going for. Don't know what you could have said better, but that did not come off well, man.
Dude, is this the one he took a trip in?
No. People just love to shit on Bezos. Like, he does a rocket, and it's still like, yeah, but you suck. It's funny because they just shit on Bezos. He's like the kid at the table at lunch or in class that can just never get in on the joke.
Dude.
He can, no matter what it is, even if he's the first one to say the joke, it sucks.
You pretend, though, that it's not unwarranted. Like, bro, his employees are literally having to piss in bottles. I'm okay if his employees are like, all right, kind of tone deaf, bro. Like, I'm glad you instead spent this much money on this instead of, like, making it to where we don't have to pee in bottles.
I'm going to say that Amazon has a lot of benefits. There's a lot of really good things about working at Amazon. I was talking to a friend of ours that's doing it. It's crazy.
There's that. But there's also the fact that Amazon gets more popular by the day. So all these people bitch and moan and groan about Amazon, but still have a Prime membership and still shop on Amazon. So why are you bitching? So it's not. So it's like, oh, I really hate Jeff Bezos. Those Prime Day deals are coming up, though. Like, it's like, dude, you can't fucking say that.
To
you
use
can't
your
say
own
that.
argument that you've used about people who complain about Apple and their phones but still buy the Apple phones. Like, It's
Yeah.
literally too big to stop. That doesn't mean that like you have no validity in saying your piece. Like when it comes to
You-
something like that.
It's not that you don't have a right to the opinion. It's that, like, what the fuck is the point of your opinion? What is the point of your opinion? It's literally the epitome of like, someone should definitely do something about this. Like, not me, but someone
Not me.
definitely should. Yeah,
Well, I mean, the
someone
question
out there.
is like, what do we do to actually put pressure on her, right? Like, I think that's more of what
Stop
it is
buying.
right now.
Just stop. Like, it's not hard.
It's not
They sell
that.
stuff, so if you don't buy their stuff,
But this is the argument. There's no good alternatives to it. It is
what do you mean?
essentially a monopoly on what it is.
I feel like I could go buy anything I want online at its specific retailer, not on Amazon.
90% of those retailers run through Amazon.
I don't know about
Like
that one, dude. I don't think they do.
The literal argument to Amazon is that they are basically a monopoly. And that is people's main issue when people are like, well, just don't buy. It's like they pretty much have the market 100% to themselves. No one else can compete on that level. That is like one of the major arguments to it.
But that's not the retailers. That's not the retailers though at all. That's because they have Amazon, Amazon Music, Amazon. They have all those, Amazon Fresh. They have their own Whole Foods. They have their own food delivery. That's not.
It's like, okay, so like for instance, my laser engraved 3D photo that I did. I could not easily go through anyone else to do that. I could not go to a local business to do it.
It's good.
Name one local business that does that in Burleson right now.
Okay, I don't know about that. No,
exactly.
But you could go to the mall.
That's my point. I have to go out of my way, make an hour-long drive. That is the argument.
So again,
it's not an hour. It's 20 minutes.
No. Hold on.
That's
so
the
again,
argument.
Saying,
is that it is not convenient.
That's
so
not the
it
argument.
Is a monopoly.
That's not an argument.
Dude,
it's so convenient. I can't help myself.
Convenience doesn't give make it a monopoly.
Yes,
yeah, that's not a good argument.
Can make it a monopoly.
That is not an argument.
That's still your choice, though.
That is literally the same as like I can't lose weight because McDonald's is faster than me cooking. That is not an argument.
That is completely different, and you know it. And
no, it is not.
If you legitimately want to say that Amazon is not a monopoly, you are a moron if you have not looked at that business and all the other crap that they've bought up.
No, that doesn't make you a moron. Your argument was, because it's harder for me to do, it's impossible. That's not an argument.
You defeated that one point. Good for you. Why is Amazon not a monopoly then? Cool. What is your argument against Amazon being it?
Because the reason you just stated, you're like, well, all these people say this. It's not the case, because that was only an argument of convenience. Other retailers don't go through Amazon. If I buy something for Zoomies, it's going through Zoomies. If I buy something from Ross or Kohl's, it's going through them. So whatever the case may be, if I want to buy
all
a
of these things are probably running through an Amazon warehouse at one point or another, or being used on the same planes as Amazon and stuff like that. They essentially do have a monopoly on the market of what they have, and they're constantly acquiring other businesses. They own servers for 90% of people's storefronts and stuff like that. Like, Amazon is legitimately a monopoly. It's just like the same argument with AT&T. Well, very technically, there's competitors. It's like, okay, having one or two, like, AT&T has maybe one realistic competitor. It has a basic monopoly on it. Like, it doesn't matter if there's competing businesses, if the competing businesses cannot grow to the scale of the other ones. Like, when it becomes to the point that they smash other businesses down by what they do, which is 100% what Amazon does. 90% of these businesses that run their own stores and stuff like that have to go through Amazon because they do not make money if they don't.
Like for delivery?
That's just a matter of like, yeah, I mean,
that's cool.
Things.
I don't know.
Wouldn't
it be
really
UPS
ultimately
or USPS or?
the
yeah, it
argument
comes
is
down to
that it
like
needs to be
FedEx.
broken up to a degree. Like Amazon, while it is one corporation, needs to be broken up a little bit. Or if they're gonna hold a monopoly, they need to take better care of their employees when it comes to those standards of forcing people to piss on in a bottle so that they can meet their quota.
That is crazy.
Like, yes, the benefits are
that's
great, but
insane.
making people piss in bottles and stuff like that, or they're fired, is to
There
the
are some
point of
crazy
like, dude,
benefits.
humans are supposed to have dignity, and it's fucked up to take dignity away from a person like that.
Yeah, I feel like
Well,
the
so
pissing in a bucket kind of detracts from maybe a few people. It kind of
dude,
detracts from some of the benefits.
it's almost like Walmart. Like when everyone hated Walmart, like 15 years ago, like Walmart, killed everything. When Walmart comes into a town, it destroys other small businesses. But dude, it's on that same scale. Nothing's ever going to be. It maybe
It's
has one other competitor, Target, maybe, or
it's
HB,
that
maybe.
on
I don't
top
know.
of the fact that
Like
Amazon is also not like they have really good benefits and stuff. Don't get me wrong, they try to do their best.
crazy.
But like, bro, you need to lower your standard when employees are pissing and shitting in bottles.
The delivery driver, yeah, I don't know, but dude, the
Delivery
benefits
driver,
are
people
crazy.
working on the lines, actually loading the boxes and loading the trucks and stuff like that. Like, this is not just, oh, only delivery drivers are doing this. There are other people being forced to do this as well. It's like, okay, maybe you need to lower your standard a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, is it the worst thing that could happen?
taking away a human's dignity, yes, for the fact that they can barely make a living wage and you're one of the few companies that can even remotely pay them a living wage so that they don't really have
They
a
pay
good
a.
alternative.
I thought they paid a lot. Like starting out, it was like 17 an hour in the warehouse.
It's yes, but when you get pushed to the level of pissing and shitting in a bottle for $17 an hour,
Oh yeah,
like that's my
true.
problem with it. It's like, dude, I don't care how much you pay, like that they need to have a good alternative. Like there needs to be either other competing businesses that can help keep like standards like that. Like they need to keep standards, and that's the problem. And then the fact that Amazon literally just bold-faced lied and said that's not a thing. Our employees don't do that. And then literally a report comes out from their internal documents that said like this is a highly reported issue that's happening. It's like, dude, okay, you know you're doing something wrong and you're just denying it. Like, come on, bro. Like, someone needs to step in. Like, and everyone whines, oh, we don't want the government involved. Well, okay, dude. Well, him having this much money and not looking out for other people at the same time and keeping a level of standard to it is wrong.
So who would check him though?
That's where the government has to
Who we
step in.
checking?
He won't check
The
himself,
rub.
so that's what the government's supposed to do. And then everyone
I'm
whines,
just gonna
well, I
replace
don't
them
want the
all.
government involved in big businesses like that. It's like, okay, well, we need to solve this problem, so unless you've got another alternative, like, you know what I mean? You don't get to just say no. You need to come up with a solution on the other side of it. Like, I hate the idea that
Everybody,
everyone just says no but doesn't offer a different solution.
I mean, my other
everybody gets
solution
replaced with a robot. Robots don't have to piss in buckets. Shit in buckets.
that, or I mean,
That
I don't
happens.
know.
Then
There could be
Amazon
some.
doesn't get all the tax breaks they get because they're not
You
employing
could
people
like.
anymore. Like,
You
I'm
could
cool with
like.
that if they start chipping in their fair share.
I mean, would they need tax breaks because they're not paying anyone? Like
They're not
there's
paying their
so much
taxes is
less
the
they're paying.
problem. They're such a big business that they pay virtually little to no taxes at all because of all the tax breaks they get. Like
I mean,
it's
is
it's
that
part
true, or
of
is
the
that one
tax
of those
code being
like?
fucked up.
Is that one of those like perpetuated myths that's like, like Amazon, like Jeff pays no taxes. It's like, okay, is it okay?
It's not
To
that
what degree is it
it's
not?
not the argument that Jeff doesn't pay taxes. Like people who say that, like no, that's wrong. He pays taxes. The argument is that his
The business.
businesses that hold actually all the revenue that he has aren't paying their fair share in taxes. When you have companies profiting in billions of billions of billions of dollars and they're paying little to nothing in taxes, like I pay more, like a higher percentage of my taxes than most major businesses like that do. because of the
'Cause
way
they
they can
can-
skirt it. Like they'll buy
Yeah.
debt and failing businesses just to not pay taxes on it because it's more profitable
The
for them
business
to
expense.
buy that debt, take on that debt to get the tax break. Like there's so many things that they do because the tax law is so broken.
I have an appointment. I got an LLC the other day. It's still processing, but like just to have it, I want it. And they give you a free consultation with a tax expert. And I'm gonna set it up because I want to know like how many of these myths are true. Not of the Amazon thing, but like you see stuff online like, oh, if you start an LLC, employ yourself, pay yourself as your only employee. There's like, you get this insane break. And then there's like, I've seen these other stuff that's like, take a vacation, but hold one business meeting, like at least like one business meeting, one day out of the 3-day vacation you take, you can write off the entire trip as a business conference meet. Like, I'm like, I want to know how much of this is true and how much of this is
so like
probably a lot of
the
it, dude.
business thing, it's not that it's like it's a complete and utter break where you're paying nothing. Like your business still pays it, but it's like people who buy stuff like on their business card and like, well, we'll just write it off as a business expense. Like they write off a portion, but they still pay a little bit on it. They can't write off like there's a limit on certain things to be able to write off. Like it's the fact that these major businesses are like they're so largely operated and so many moving pieces that they can acquire so many tax breaks that it becomes to the point that they're paying virtually nothing in. Whereas like you finding one loophole for a tax break versus their 50. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're still pitching in a little bit, whereas because of how many tax breaks they have, not only are they making more income than you, but they're probably paying a little bit less in the overall percentage of what they're chipping in.
Well, not even the fact of that, like not even to the advantage of like who's going to pay more. I'm just saying like how much on the internet, because most of it's probably false. Like most of it's probably false, but there's so much like, oh, you buy a shirt and wear it to work once, that's a free shirt now. Like to what degree of these things are true? Of like that's not true. That
rules.
one's not true.
They have rules to like outfits and stuff like that. I forget what it is. Like it has to be able to be worn in a traditional like business setting. Like I know at least in like media and stuff like that, if like we're doing this gets big. I can't just buy a new outfit and be like, oh, this is a business expense and try to use it as a tax break. When it comes to like entertainment and stuff like that, they actually have some very like in-depth rules to it that it has to be able to be worn to like like a normal business meeting. Like there's weird standards to it, so you couldn't just buy like a chicken outfit and be like, yeah, that was a business expense.
It's funny you say that. I actually feel like the chicken outfit will make more sense because like the chicken outfit, like, oh, we did a stunt for this segment part of the show. If I should get a t-shirt,
but their argument
it's not a uniform.
I think it comes down to also how many times you use it. So if you only did that for like one video, you can't write that off. You literally bought it for one video, you made the money, you pay the taxes on it. Now, if it was something that it was like, dude, there's some weird standards to it. Like, I'd love to look them up and actually get like deeper into it, but I know there are like actual weird standards for stuff like that. It's not a game of like you can just buy off anything, bring it to the business, and be like, that's a business write-off now.
Right.
Well, like I know with
afraid of the law.
Because like I think most of it also comes down to the fact that too, people are playing the game of I doubt I'll get audited. Because of how many tax agents there are. Like, it's playing a game of, like, will I get audited or not?
Dude, there's a video on YouTube of, like, an actual tax professional. It was like, what's your chances of getting audited? And it blows up every tax season. And he puts it, he explains it pretty simply. It's like, he's like, how much do you make? He's like, it's like that's also a commission to catch your audit. Like if they catch you and they find it, it's a commission, a reward based thing. He's like, are they gonna go after you? You lied about $1,000. Like he's like, is that worth getting so many departments involved to investigate you? He's like, now you're pulling in, $700,000 and you lie about a lot of that. That's a bigger reward for them. So yeah, so it's kind of like, I mean, you could probably try it.
Especially I'm not giving you financial advices.
yeah, like that's really what it came down to. Like all the comments are like, so you have a shot. You just because you
could
make
get
so
away with it.
little compared to like what you know what I mean. Like you're not in the hundreds of like the 500,000, the 700,000. Like it's not worth it to them. They're like, take your $200.
Dude, tax laws are
But that
really
chance.
weird. Like, there's a lot of stuff that people could do. Like, especially like on bigger business side, you'll see it. Like, there's even like there's like for businesses, there's a term of good debt and stuff like that. Like, it's weird, dude. Tax laws are insane. Even at like people level and the stuff you do, like even being able to write off like charitable donations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot you can actually do. It's just really, really weird.
It is.
I wonder if Richard Branson wrote off his spaceship. So here's the weird thing. That's the tangent we got kicked off on. Even on the video of Richard Branson's Virgin Mobile flight, 90% of the comment section is showing up just to remind them that Bezos' launch sucked and Branson's was better. Because they just love to shit on Bezos. Which, I mean, whatever. It's funny at this point. But funny enough, his actually was better. So, like, Bezos, it just goes up and, like, just kind of, like, pops and comes back down. Branson's, he was on it, and it looks like a plane. It doesn't look like a spaceship. It just looks like a plane. They actually do hit space. It's on camera, and Richard Branson's in the passenger seat. And he, like, unbuckles, and they all fly around the ship. And, like, he yeah, like they show them in space and like looking down at Earth. And he's like, before he unbuckles, he's like to all the kids watching, he's like, I used to be just like you, looking up at the stars, looking up at space. Now here I am, I'm an adult in space, looking down at Earth. He's like, anything you think is possible is possible. And then unbuckles and he's like flying around the ship. And it's just like the comparison contrast. Oh, yeah, my people should piss in buckets, but I'm grateful for you, versus like, I want to try to say something inspirational to the kids. And maybe one day someone else will do this. Oh, that's what he said. He said, if I'm able to do this now, imagine what you will be able to do when you get here. Because that's, you know, and then, again, Neil deGrasse Tyson has to come on and shit on it. He's like, we've been to space. It's nothing new. And it's like, you have to shit on everything. See, why can you not just let something be what it is? And it's like, no, dude, we've been to space, but not in this way. But that's his whole angle.
I feel
not a commercial way.
I don't know. Like, I feel like Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, he doesn't, like, he inadvertently shits on people. Like, I think when I feel like he's the cool. I feel like he's the cool fact guy, but he doesn't understand when it's like, dude, okay, we didn't need that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like he does it to like shit on Richard Branson or anything. He's like, well, by the way, like, cool fact, we've been going to space since the 70s. Like, I don't feel like it's ever like a shit on, like, intentionally. It's just like, kind of don't understand social norms on this.
If it's not intentional by now, he's completely clueless, because he is doing it intentionally. Yeah, he's cool fat guy. He's like the pretentious fact guy. Anything that can be said, he's like, actually no. And he's like, you just see him kind of getting off by it. I'm like, we've been this. That's nothing new. I'm like, okay, dude. I mean, yeah, it's not amazing that the guy who has a prepaid cell phone company started an airline and then also is now taken to space. Yeah, let's just shit on the fact that somebody went to space before. Okay, all right, whatever, dude. Like, it's just so cool. Pretentious always. Yeah, I think it's cool.
Because I think it was stupid that we had only NASA doing crap for a while. They didn't do nothing. And I think that like other people.
No, that's because NASA's funding got cut like drastically over and over and over again. So like it's the idea of like how many people want to do things in space and launch satellites and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, we only got this much money, so we got to have y'all's argument as to why. And then they like have to divvy up budgets for projects and stuff like that. And when NASA like constantly having its funding cut, that was like the major reason why everyone was saying like private businesses need to step in to take it off the government so that they can't just keep gutting the budget on them.
Yeah, because everyone was falling behind. Like, I mean, I don't know, dude. People landing on the moon in what was it, like the 60s, right?
It was like
And
60s, 70s, yeah.
it was JFK time. I know that.
Yeah.
Right? It was JFK time.
Yeah.
It was 60s then.
No, he put the
Yeah,
first man on
he
the
gave
moon,
a speech on it.
like during his
Yeah.
government.
So yeah, it was like, yeah, 'cause I don't know. That's just like, dude, that was a long fucking time ago.
Because
You think like we would be
Is
having
it
like
a long?
commercial
Dude,
trips to the moon already? Like, hey, you want to take a swing around the moon?
when
I
you
mean,
look at
I
it
don't know.
too, the crazy part is like if you've ever watched those NASA documentaries and stuff like that, like they were plotting all that stuff out by hand and stuff like that. Like they were plotting trajectories, all that math done by hand. Like not much computer assistance. It's
That's
like
wild.
insane to think about. Of like they just had that much knowledge just stored in their brain. Of like, all right, cool. All right, plot it
I
out
just,
this, plot it out this. We need these conditions. Like they're all doing like on the fly math.
dude, and that's why I don't understand. And I'm not trying to get conspiracy on you, Wagner, but I really don't understand why we never went back to the moon. Like we've been shooting satellites
think-
up into orbit for
But
the
so
whole, like
my
last 5
argument to
decades,
be
but
with that
why
would
not?
be, what do we need on the moon? Like, what's your objective?
Dude,
My thing is,
exploration, the
kind
whole
of,
dark side of the moon.
We've already
But-
explored it. We can
but
send
what
rovers and stuff like that to do that. So why send people? A rover
I
can
wouldn't
be
even
here
say
longer
like
We
and
could say,
safer.
dude, I would think our next step would be setting up a small sort of like not space station, but like some maybe space station or relay station somewhere where like, once we launch rockets, it can like get fixed up again by engineers to get ready to move to the next, or to do what it needs to do. Like, why do we not have something?
Because
We have like
the-
satellites orbiting everywhere, but we have this
it's
moon we do nothing
it's
with.
What-
the
okay,
argument of
but
like
what
to
about-
what end? Like you're like, okay, well, what if
But-
we take it to launch it to another planet? Like, okay, dude, we first just made it to the moon. It's like, all right, cool, but huge achievement. Mars is so much further away. It's more money than what the government's gonna sink in it. Like the moon was literally just a pissing
Obvious.
contest. That's all it was because America was like, move the goalpost, move the goalpost, move the goalpost. Nah, the moon was the final one. Like it was the whole Russian thing. They beat us in first animal to space, first human to space, first satellite launched. You're like, nah, the moon was the last one. We only beat them in like one thing. We're like, see, we won the space race. It's like, dude, they beat us like 3 times. What?
But okay, the whole thing was not going back. What's profitable about it? You got to think like an economy. So what's profitable about us going to the moon? Not we could do commercial flights there. No, before that, why explore it? What is profitable about that? Like, how do you turn that into like a cash cow?
Well, the
Like selling
idea
moon
of
rocks?
That's true.
science isn't 100% profitable all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say it should just be a science thing, but
Like
I
the
guess
whole
that's
point
not what
of
people
science
think.
But
isn't
again,
to be
you're
profitable.
yeah, but that's
Like
yeah,
no,
but that's
That's not human
I
nature.
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
like people look at it is why is it like why would we do it? It's not profitable. Like you're coming at it with that aspect, whereas like I come from it and Quentin comes from it of like the sciencey side of like who cares if it's profitable? It's exploring our world. Like it doesn't need to be
Mhm.
profitable. It's like the same
Which
thing
is
as
why
like
we don't
people
do it.
exploring the
Yeah.
Mariana Trench. Like there's the we ought to do this, and then you have the well. Here's why we don't do that, and that's because this is how society works. As much as like you
But
probably
I-
may agree with us that exploration is cool, like yeah, but practical sense, there's nothing being made from it, so there's no incentive for what drives most of humanity.
I wouldn't want easy access to the moon, which probably could happen if these entrepreneurs can just launch people in space now. The reason I want easy access to the moon because we're gonna start like advertising on it. You know what I mean? Like Nike's gonna buy the light side of the moon for like a year, and there's gonna be a big swoosh in the sky. Like that's why I don't really
That would
want
be crazy.
It'd be too far almost, but it'd be like whatever. This is life. It's all whatever.
Whatever.
See,
Like that's what it would be.
I prefer like the exploration aspect of it. Like for me, it's like the whole reason like there's a moon on Jupiter that like has an ice shell around it that's theorized that it could hold life within it just based on the makeup of it. is it profitable to go there and send an ice drill to drill through to see if there's life there? No. Do I still want to do it? Hell yeah. Like, there's that just fascination in science for me that makes me like, if I had the money, hell yeah, I'd fund that project. I just don't have the
Or
money.
dude, or even explore the rest of our oceans.
My
But
thing is
because we
like,
don't,
well, I mean, with the ocean, there's all those like, you know, you go so far, there's like the pressure, and you can't because like it'll just kill you or kill whatever you know we
and we'd
make it
have
go
to
down.
invest
No,
money into it though.
we
But I
literally
think
we've been to the bottom of the
also going
ocean
out.
though. It's like we've been to the
We
bottom of
have?
yes, the Mariana
I
Trench is
didn't
the
know.
deepest point in our ocean. The problem is it's so vast that it's like it's not practical for us to be able to drive these craft that go down there. Like it's just not these crafts aren't built to the degree that they could just drive the Mariana Trench and resurface. Like it's literally that. Like these are very rudimentary. Like you can go to the bottom. They have video of the bottom and stuff like that. Like that's how we discover these new species and stuff like that. We see them on the cameras and stuff like that of the stuff we send down there. It's just not practical to drive from one side of the trench to the other to explore it fully. Like there's just so much there that it's not practical for us to do it. Like it's just so hard.
I thought there was, man, I don't know where I heard that. I always heard that like we'd only explored like 30% of the ocean
That's
or
what I'm
some shit like
saying.
that.
That doesn't mean we haven't been to the very bottom of it. Like we've been to the very bottom of it, but that
Oh, we
crevice
just
is
haven't. Oh, I see. Okay.
hundreds and hundreds of miles long that it's not practical that we can just drive through
Hmm,
it. You know what I mean? It's
I
not
got
like
you.
just taking your car through the Grand Canyon. You know what I mean?
The hard
I see
part
what
is
you're
like
saying.
making travel quick too. Like going the other point, like you said, the moon on Jupiter. It's like if you start that mission, that's like 50, 60 years to get there. So it's
Oh.
like you might die before then. So
No, because like their argument would be like they want to do it unmanned, like 100% unmanned. They want to make it a
it's
fully automated system.
well, yeah, it has to be unmanned, but also like it's gonna decades to get there.
No,
Yes, it does. It would take decades to get there.
literally
It's
doesn't.
not like it's not around the corner. Yes, it does.
It literally does not take decades to it. Like if I remember correctly, they were like we'd have to launch it now. It'd be there within 7 years.
7 years to Jupiter?
It's so you got to think this would be it
I
would
thought
be
What?
Mars was farther than that.
like I'm 90 because like
Yeah,
we have
what?
this satellite that like right now I'm pretty sure we've already launched something out of our galaxy. Like it's very far away, but when you can make something really really lightweight, you can make it there. Like Jupiter is not light years away from us. Like I think you're misperceiving how actually
I
far
was just
away it
thinking about
is.
how long it took the rover to get to Mars.
Yeah, like that's what I'm
No,
saying.
that
Like
I'm not.
planets are a
No,
lot
that didn't take
closer.
too. I mean, I'm trying to think of that satellite they sent that was like I can't think of the name of it all,
Yeah,
but
but
it was like
technology has improved a lot more since then. You got to think that was when they were first launching rockets. Now we can build rockets lighter. We have more efficient fuels and stuff like that.
Could make them look like penises.
It
that's
literally
the best
just comes
part.
down to the thing that they're able to shrink the payload, add more fuel into it. They can do it. It's just very expensive for them to do it, and that's why it hasn't been done yet. But I'm pretty sure the article I was reading was like, no, within 7 years we could do it. It would just take a really long time for us to drill through the ice and hope that nothing goes wrong with the machine while it's out there. Because once it's out there, we can't service it.
Yeah,
So
you're
wait,
right.
I
It
have
was
a
7 years,
question.
but I'm just like that's why I was like, it is 7 years. So I was tripping. I'm like, but you already discussed why. But yeah, but what were you gonna say, Swin?
So if there's potentially life under the ice there, wouldn't there be? Isn't there ice on the moon? On the dark side of the moon, isn't that ice or no?
No, there's been no ice
Oh,
found on the moon, I'm
Too
pretty sure.
cold. We don't have a big enough jacket to go,
No,
bro.
it's the
That's
argument
the
of the
problem.
atmosphere couldn't hold it in. Like even Mars,
oh, okay.
like Mars, we theorized that like I'm pretty sure we found ice there. Like we found water on Mars, and that's why we're so pumped that like okay, there might have been life there at one point because we know that water is required for life, at least as we know
We find pyramids there, dude. It's a game over.
it. But the
Is
argument
the game over? Just getting started.
Like the argument for that moon is like, yes, it has a like I think it's like a 7 mile thick layer of ice around it that they would have to drill through.
7 miles thick.
Yes, like it is.
There's all
Like,
sorts of
it's
there's all sorts of. There's another one, and this might be the same planet I'm thinking of, but I don't know. But there's one. I don't know if it's the moon or the planet itself, but it's a constant hailstorm that's like hundreds of degrees below zero. It's just like you couldn't even. We have nothing that could make it through that, and we don't even know if there's a surface. If it's not just a, you know what I mean? Like you just fall forever, or if there is, if you make it through the hailstorm, it's like you at least hit ground finally. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff out there, man. Just to think that we're on Earth and we're in space too. Like right now, like Earth is part of that. So like to even think that we exist is like, like what's going on,
we're
dude?
getting close to my topic about how crazy rain is, man.
It's not that crazy, dude. Honestly, like it's funny that you brought that up. Me and Son are kind of like.
It's like literally one of those pothead thoughts, but like if I were to rationally put it to you, like it is literally the only thing that just falls from our sky. But the only reason why
hail,
which is water.
Ice water.
That's my argument. It's like it is just crazy that water falls from the sky. Like it is the only thing that does it on a regular basis. Like it's just we're just so used to it. It happens all the time, so it's not that crazy to us. But if you pull yourself out far enough and think about it, it's like it is the only thing that does that. Like it's really weird.
I don't know. It's not that weird.
I guess I don't feel that way about it because I'm like, I mean, thunder can touch the ground from the cloud, and that's also strange. And tornadoes and hurricanes are. I don't know, I think weather sucks altogether, but I don't know. I don't feel that way about rain of like, it's weird that it falls because like, it's not like fire's going to fall because like fire doesn't work like that.
Dude,
I don't know.
It's literally the fact though that it's just like, just think about that. Like imagine a planet where rain's not a thing. Like water just gets around 100% differently and it's not a thing. And then just imagine telling that person about like our planet. No, like water falls from the sky.
I guess
dude, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean by
like
it's
a different.
It's a complete pothead thought of like
very
exactly like when I think it, I'm like, dude, this is such a dumb thought, but like I think about it, I'm like, that's actually kind of cool. It's kind of weird. It's like
when you asked us that, I was sitting there and I was just like, I feel like this is something I would have asked Clayton. Never.
I don't know. I think pothead thought. I'm kind of like, you know, I don't know. Like, it's like pothead thought is like, are we the aliens, or like, you know what I mean, or like, is Bigfoot looking for us? Like,
but I feel like a pothead thought is to take something that's really like simple and makes sense to everyone, but for some reason to you it blows your mind. Like that's what I think when like it's a
thought about rain.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I feel like that one in particular is like, I mean, I guess.
Well, dude,
I guess.
I don't know, bro. Well, like, okay, like to put it in perspective, it's like, like on these other planets, there are planets where it literally just rains acid. Like the rain is that acidic.
Hey, we have acid rain, right?
That can happen here
Due to pollution. Yeah,
that can happen.
Like,
yeah, that can happen here.
Just, I don't know, bro. It's just weird to me. I don't know why it blows my mind so much, but it just kind of does.
What if it rained amphibians, dude?
So I was gonna say funny story. So like there was some bad weather that picked up a pond, not just a pond, but it picked up like a bunch of turtles and like pond life, and it did rain at like a next town over. So this town was freaking out because turtles were falling on their cars. And like amphibians, they thought it was the end time.
So
they thought it was like one of the times of the rapture.
Sharknado could be a real thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude.
What's the
possibility? What's the possibility that Sharknado happened in a different reality and someone else was sent here and was like, this would be hilarious to this reality. I need to show them from my timeline, but it's a joke. It's just a joke, bro. It's just a prank.
I feel like it's like
it's a joke.
I feel like that's one that probably, if we looked it up, there's probably been a Neil deGrasse Tyson like tweet about how practical
Oh
Sharknado
my God.
was.
Funny y'all even think this is entertaining because the idea that a shark could be lifted up is just preposterous.
Oh my God. It's a B movie. It's a D movie, for Christ's sake. Like,
Let's take it back to grade school with me real quick.
he's like, yeah, oh God, dude. He's like, you know, like imagine being on the first commercial space flight with him. You know, we're floating. Well, actually, you're falling constantly. So you're not floating. No one can actually float. You're just like swimming. You're like, all right, dude, I'm gonna like go to the back of the plane.
I feel like you only think it's dumb if you're not like on the level of like if you don't know the fact and he tells it to you, it's like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. But because it's like 90% of the time like a fact that most people probably
We know.
it's like,
Yeah.
all right,
Or don't care to know that it's like everybody's having a fun time. Yeah, it's like, all right, dude. Okay.
bro, say
It's
what
like,
you want,
there's,
dude.
oh my gosh.
The coolest thing I learned is like on Mars, there's a spot on there that the atmospheric pressure can hold the triple point of water. So in the same pool, like it's theorized by science that you could have frozen water, boiling water, and steam, and then just like liquid
What?
water. Dude, like he pointed out and he's like, here's the science behind it. That one I was like, okay, that's actually a pretty cool fact. I didn't know that. Like there are sometimes he throws out facts out there that are like, okay, I don't know that. And that's literally just because I used to listen to his podcast that he used to have.
So, you know, and this is actually from him as well. I'll give him props on this. If you weigh 420 pounds on Earth, you weigh 69 pounds on the moon.
Nice.
That is the only way that works. So,
see,
okay.
like it's cool. Like
That's a
he
fun
does
fact.
cool things. It's just like
Like
that's what I mean by he's
like
that
1%
cool.
of the time.
He's
Right.
that cool fat guy of like 90% of the time. That like that wasn't a cool fact, but every so often one of them lands and I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of cool.
I feel like there should be like a TV show with, you know, I don't know what the show would be about, like a sitcom type TV show, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is like a guest character, and he's always in the background. And whenever the characters are like, you know, talking or trying to solve a problem, he always steps in. They're like, actually,
on it.
did you know that that milk you're drinking is 87% H2O?
See, that would
And
probably.
it's like,
I'd say that that's.
Can you call it milk?
See, I would feel like you would get that from like the Big Bang Theory because they have Sheldon who thinks he's smarter than everyone else. Like I'm pretty sure he even shit on like Stephen Hawking. Like there are some like major science names out there where he'll just point out how stupid it is, but yes, everybody knows that. And then he'll just like walk off and it's like, no, actually not many people do that, but you know it because it's your field.
I need to watch
That's
more
one
of
of
that
the
show.
most like, yeah, that's one of the most random shows to take off. Like,
I don't know, dude.
Big Bang Theory.
It's like one of those classic sitcoms that's like,
It's funny because I haven't
different era.
seen that, and I love sitcoms. I've seen so many sitcoms 10 times over,
It's
and I
not
haven't
like-
seen that all the way
To
through.
be honest, it's not great. It's all right, in my opinion. Like it's one of those background shows that you just throw on. You don't really pay a whole bunch of attention to.
I have watched
not
Young
90%
Sheldon.
of
That's
TV.
actually pretty good.
See, like to me, The Office, It's Always Sunny, like those are shows like I'll pay attention, and after a few watch throughs, you're like, then it becomes a background show. Whereas like when it comes to like The Big Bang Theory, that's always just it's a background show. No matter what, it's a background show. Like I've never watched it and been sucked into where I need to pay attention. It's just a background show.
Dude, I
wonder how many shows views are coming from that. Because like we just like remember we'd get back to the dorm, turn on Family Guy, and then we'd just turn around and not even stare at it.
Yeah, just to like laugh every once in a while when we hear something.
Yeah,
Well, because like after
Nielsen
the first few
ratings go
seasons, that's what I'm saying. Like, how many views are just from people doing that, or like they have it on and they're just on their computer, like shopping or they're on Facebook or Instagram on their phone. They're not even watching the show. Like,
that's
how many views are from that?
That's why they've got, you know, Hulu and Netflix paying attention to your, like, needs access to your microphone so they can see if you're actually engaged and laughing with the show on cue.
What?
Jesus Christ.
That's fucking creepy.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm sure it's
No.
probably actually a thing, but I'm just making a joke.
Most of it's
real.
like, well, most of it's probably like how much, it's probably just like YouTube, like how much of it do you watch before you leave and go to the next thing? And then, did this episode make you leave our platform? You know, that'll like super negatively impact the YouTube. Like if you go from YouTube to a different site, terrible metric for your video because they want you on the platform.
Yeah,
So I wonder how
would
much.
think that, and then they probably also measure if you're actually like skipping the intro, how often you're actually clicking like continue playing and stuff like that. Whereas like I'm sure that if you just let it sit and then it goes back to the menu screen on continue playing, it probably doesn't count like the last 6 episodes that it did before it hit there.
It'd probably just not count the most recent one because I mean, how many times? It feels almost shameful when you get into a long binge and it asks if you're still there, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm still here." What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why are you judging me?
Yeah, it almost feels shameful. You're like, "Damn, I haven't moved in that long." God,
dude, I'm just like,
still there.
I just get mad that they ask the question. It's like, yes, I'm still here. Okay, leave me alone about it.
Still watching?
Are you still there?
Dude, what
Do
is
you
it?
need a
Like a
potion?
drink? Ooh.
That was my problem.
Would you
with
like a
Hulu,
drink?
Is
Well, Amazon
Hulu will
one.
just keep going. So like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, if you fall asleep on Hulu during a show, like dude, good luck, because you better remember where you stopped and kind of guess at how many episodes back it was that you distinctly remember. And then it's a game of like, okay, I remember this one. Okay, I've watched all of this one, skip to the next one. Okay, I remember all of this one, and it's a game of like going through as many episodes as you remember till you get back because you fell asleep with it on.
Dude, and like also like think about like you get on those platforms and like they have their recommended pages. Usually the first thing, what's hot now, what's trending based off what you like.
Mm-hmm.
So much of that is not even like actually recommended based off what you like to a degree. It's like recommended for you because someone else is paying for it. Like this is big on like Spotify, Apple Music, things like that. Like the playlist, like you think you found new music, but if you really pay attention, once certain new songs come out, they're on like 8 different playlists. It's all just the same music being swapped around, or it's like recommending you this new music, but it's like what makes that different than any other music that came out that day? So it's all like someone's paying someone somewhere, always.
Like a boost to put it up on the charts or something.
Yeah, it's like this all like the music you like is already chosen for you. So like it's not really too much of a degree of like this is my playlist, or this is what I like. A lot of that's already picked for you. It's the same thing for the shows.
Yeah. I mean, I would think they would base it off like their most critically acclaimed ones. Like Netflix has like top 10 in US right now and top, like best of 2020 or whatever. They have like so many different categories of everything. Like I'm sure if you open up a brand new account, they're going to throw like, whatever their top 10 from this year are, and then their top 10 from like all time is going to be like right there.
Well, see, I feel like if you
And
get
like
on
how much
Netflix and stuff like that with a brand new account, they're like they're looking. They know you're there for a reason. Like if you're buying Netflix and stuff, you have something you want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You watch that, and they're like, here's some shows that are similar, and then maybe you watch a movie and it slowly amalgamates. But there is always that recommended of like, here's the top 10 trending. Like if you don't know what you want to watch, here's what other people thought they should watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would kind of be like with the music.
The new account is like spaghetti at a screen door, but after that initial phase, you have a huge chunk that's picked for you already by the big labels. Like that's the whole thing about what made Pandora take off and Spotify and Apple Music and all these other things is like, oh, it's outside the industry, but it's not. The industry is the one paying people to put those certain songs in front of you certain playlists. So I'm like, to what degree is it the same for Netflix and Hulu? Because even on like YouTube, like artists buy views. Like that's a very normal practice. If they want a video to trend, they'll just buy a couple 100,000 views, and they'll buy tens of thousands of comments to make it look organic.
Oh my God.
And then you'll be like, it just spins that wheel again. You're like, oh, this has got 3 million views. Let me check it out. That's so like to what degree is that happening on all these video platforms? Of like, how can they buy views there? If things of that nature. How much is picked for you?
You bought like 100,000 views on YouTube. Would YouTube still pay you for those 100,000 views?
There's certain things that YouTube does to qualify it as a view. So like, we see maybe 100,000 views. In actuality, they probably paid for like 500, like 500,000 views, and those 100,000 were the ones that actually like stuck and fooled the algorithm. Because like, I remember for a long time of like YouTube, like if you watch on like mobile and stuff like that, they check to see if like you're pausing and stuff like that, and if you're backing up. Like, they have things in their system to identify if a human's actually watching. Like, because if not, what everyone would do is they'd just click on a playlist of videos and just let it play through that playlist to get their channel views up. And they would just tell all their subscribers, hey, do this, it really helps me out. What YouTube's learned that that's a way people try to game the system. So you got to think that like every iteration of YouTube and all these different payouts and stuff like that, and all these things that people were doing that were highly successful, the system has evolved to catch it, and people are evolving to beat it. So it's always a game of trying to nudge it out. So like, that's why I'm saying like, they probably paid for 500,000, but they probably only got 100,000 based off the way the system reads it. So like, only 100,000 actually were able to slip through.
Which even still, I'd say that's a lot of, fake views. But yeah, like that's like a standard practice. So to, how much of everything, like, this is my own choice. This is my own thing. Probably not.
My views, my choice.
Well, dude, my favorite one pointing out the gaming of YouTube was the fact that like, this guy, the Spiffing Brit, always like his channel is based around like taking whatever game you love and exploiting it and breaking it. And he did a video on YouTube of like, here's how you break YouTube. And he's like, if you're a smaller creator around this size, you have access to being able to put up polls. And he's like, now, due to the fact that polls have been around for 3 or 4 generations of YouTube and they don't actually work, the algorithm has slid more and more in that thing's favor. So he's like, here's my videos of proof, because he did like 2 or 3 videos and didn't point it out. And he pointed out the amount of traction that it would give and how many recommendeds it would give and stuff like that. So like, he showed the way to break YouTube using that polling system. He's just like, it's incredibly broken. It's like the same thing with like the shorts and stuff like that. Like, there are channels that do it very early on, and they seem to blow up because they're the first on the wave. Like, the system is always trying to figure out, and they'll keep sliding and making things more and more powerful to get that product used. So, like, how you're like, oh, YouTube Shorts are big now. Well, it's because those people who are making YouTube Shorts, over time, YouTube wants that to be the thing that people are using to view stuff, and they want that to be successful. Well, they're going to incentivize creators to do that because, hey, if you start doing this, we're going to also push your content to people who don't normally watch your stuff through those shorts. If they like it, then we're more likely to recommend them videos of you and stuff like that.
Dude, I've thought about, I don't know how the shorts work, but we should check that out. Hopping on them shorts, man.
I'm pretty sure you have to be of a certain size.
No, what do you mean? No, I have videos on my very first channel. Like if it's under a minute, it's a short. There's a video of like me doing a tray flip when I was like 15, like pointing the camera at my feet. YouTube like turned it into a short.
Okay. Because I know like
it just has to be. It just has to be less than a minute, and then like you don't really. I mean, well, yeah, and you have to have that aspect ratio or just square. Yeah, I mean that's really it. And then it's a short. I mean, yeah, a lot of people utilize it right now because that's the thing to do. Like I've seen a lot of skate channels blow up that way right now. Just any channel really. A lot of stuff gets recommended that way. Yeah, a lot of it's TikTok reposting, but there is a lot of cool stuff on there. Like there's this guy who I found that just throws knives, and he throws anything at the wall. He will throw anything at the wall to make it stick. And I was like, okay, it's just one of those really mildly interesting things that you're like, let me see what he can make stick at this wall. And like,
Well, dude, the one that was blowing my mind was like the press videos. The guy with like
those were mesmerizing.
Dude, it bugged me so much because like being in the AC scene at the time, like I worked with equipment that did that stuff. Like I worked with a lower model of that. So like as it was blowing up, I'm like, why is this so interesting to people? Like I guess it's the idea of like I work with this, so it's not fascinating. Like this is an everyday experience to me. So I guess that if you're not in it, that's crazy to you. Dude, it was so weird. But I'll admit there is somewhere like when he squishes like the Play-Doh and it shoots out the sides like in the strings and stuff like that. Like those are pretty cool. But like when it was just like we're squishing a tennis ball. It's like okay, I know what the inside of a tennis ball looks like.
I like
it. I want to see it because you want to see how it breaks, or you want to see how it explodes, or if it does explode, or if it just smushes. And there's some things that didn't press. There's some things that almost broke the hydraulic press. So it's like it's just that outsider thing. Like the dude, if someone, it's probably out there, but if there's a YouTuber out there that's like, here's how you make a Starbucks drink, that would blow up. It's not the most exciting thing, but to have the insider knowledge, like watching fast food get made.
I feel like that's something that's already on like TikTok. Like there's a TikTok of I'm pretty sure you brought it up. The guy who does like makes Subway sandwiches at his place. Like that's already,
but he's not
on there.
But no, he's not like, here's how you make a BLT, because it's in the name. He just answers viewer questions while doing it. I'm saying like, well, and there's also a Cold Stone Creamery guy, but he doesn't tell you how it's made because it's literally in front of you, ice cream. I'm saying like, there's also buckets of paint. There's like a genre of that. They're just like, they'll drop the dyes in, mix the paint, and show you what color it is, and people love it. But again, if you did that every day, you're like, this is stupid. But outsider looking in,
dude,
you're like, oh,
that's what I feel about the
colors
press
are gonna
guy, because like I feel like the press break guy was just like already owned this. It was just like, I guess I'll just film it and put it on YouTube. And then it just started happening. It was like, oh, I better buy a new camera. I didn't know this was actually going to take off. Like, I felt it was something dumb. But I feel like all those other people who are, like, mixing paint and stuff like that are chasing that same, like, I feel like the hydraulic press guy was the first guy that did something so simple like that. Like, I got into, like, a YouTube rabbit hole of watching people do landscaping work on like yards that haven't been touched in like years. The grass is like 3 foot high. Those are super satisfying to watch. I'm like, I don't know why.
It's the before and after. Before and afters get hella clicks, dude. Like if you look at like most of like the biggest weight loss like videos, they have the before and after picture in the thumbnail. Or like, dude, like what was it? I don't know. There's just a lot. You can go down the list of any
pressure
like,
washing
on
one, dude.
Oh, dude, pressure washing is satisfying to watch, dude.
Yeah, before and after. Yeah, it's the before and after type thing. Like and then like speaking of the lawn stuff though, there's one guy I found who like that is what he's passionate about. Mowing his fucking lawn. Like he mowed it. It was already short. Like it looked like if it was me, it looks fine. He has it measured. Like he got a ruler, went down to the grass, turned on his lawnmower, got it to the right angle he wanted, did a crisscross pattern. Like today we're gonna do diagonals. Did a different pattern on it, measured it again to make sure it was right. He didn't like a small patch, got the weed eater out. Like everything in his yard was the exact same height. and it looked like a carpet because it was so short and so high quality grass. Like he ran his hands through it, and it looked like he was laying on carpet, like just green carpet. And like he mows his lawn like every 2 or 3 days. It has to be that height. It's like
I couldn't do that.
That's what he's passionate about. That is his thing, dude. He was just talking about how great the grass was, and like, I'm like, damn, like you make me feel like less of a dad. That guy is passionate about grass.
Dude, say what you want, but like, dude, I love like my backyard when it gets super high, dude. I feel like super satisfied after it's all mowed and it's all laying correctly. And like, there's literally patches of grass where I'm like, yeah, that's where the good grass took, and the other part didn't. Like, that's the trash grass. Like, I register that in my mind. I'm like, I can see the rabbit hole that some people can get into. Like, that's one I can understand.
I get it. I get that. But I could not. Oh, it's been 3 days. It's grown a 1/16 of an inch. All right, honey, I'm heading out back. Firing it up, getting the right angle. Like,
I just
you're not sitting out there
like
with a ruler, dude.
That is like a different level
It
of
is.
relationship to the point of like, oh yeah, you know Jerry, he's all about his lawn, mows it every 3
Yeah,
days.
dude.
That's my husband. Like, it is.
Imagine that. Yeah, it is like, oh yeah, my husband mows the lawn too. It's like, no, not like Gary.
Not like Jerry.
It's like, no, you don't understand. It's to another degree.
Like, do you
Help
think he
me.
goes to like his friends' houses and he's just critical of their lawns? Like, his idea of like, oh, we're going over to a barbecue, and like, if I were gonna go over to Quentin's house, and be like, I'm gonna bring my my mower and stuff like that. I'm gonna mow while I'm there. I'm gonna show him how good I am at mowing grass.
I'd always invite you over, bro.
I bet that guy like doesn't have barbecues. It might script the grass. That grill gets on, like, dude.
That, or he has a deck completely built for that, and like he yells at the kids for running in the grass in the backyard.
Right.
His wife passes out in the backyard from heat exhaustion, and he like
baby, you're gonna have a dead spot in the lawn.
What the hell are you doing? Yeah. Throws her over the fence.
You're gonna leave a print.
If you're gonna lay in someone else's lawn.
Throws her over.
Dude, I remember one of my bosses telling me that he was tripping on acid and got yelled at by a guy to get off his lawn, so him and his buddies came back the next day and poured rocks all over it.
Rock salt?
Yeah, he spelt out "fuck you" and rock salt, so it would kill that patch of the lawn instead of spell out "fuck you."
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was. I was like, that's next level, dude.
I wouldn't be that mad about it. I'd be like, I mean, if I'm doing drugs and I'm on someone else's yard, I mean, if I got yelled at, that makes sense. My bad, dude. I'm just trying to make it home.
Like, that's the idea that I have of like, yeah, you were tripping on his lawn. Like, I feel like he was completely justified in telling you to get off his lawn. Like, I wouldn't want someone who's just drugged out of their mind just in my lawn. Like, that would be really weird. And like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, he could have just called the cops on you. Like, he went a pretty reasonable route.
I'm sure that guy categorizes himself as an entrepreneur, so.
I mean, I love that guy. He taught me a lot, but like, he was one of those people that, like, when I look at it, I was like, yeah, you're just wired differently than I am. Like, you know how you just meet those people that you're like, you're just a different person than I would be. Like, they tell you some story, and you're like, huh. Okay, well, that tells me a lot about the way you think.
You and I took a different path.
Yes. Yeah. Like, you can just tell the decision, like, y'all could get like 100 question questionnaire, and you'd each answer it a different answer. Like, just one of those people.
Are not the same.
Like, that one was mind-blowing to me, dude. I can't imagine like being so mad that you come back the next day after you're done tripping to come pour rock salt on it. Like, I feel like if you were tripping in the moment, yeah, I understand you being annoyed in the moment. But, like, to be that angry to carry that with you to the next day.
Got some anger problems,
I'm gonna
dude.
show him. Yeah, which is weird for somebody to like on acid. I feel like it's a very enlightening. That's like the enlightening route. Like I'm gonna do acid, probably do some shrooms, probably do some ayahuasca one day. Like I feel like that's that pathway. Like I feel like anger drugs, like alcohol can be an anger drug. Maybe
like
even meth.
Meth is definitely
You know, like
meth isn't like angry.
crack.
It's more like a paranoid anger.
So like,
I pictured like a parent in a Chuck E. Cheese running up and like just decking the Chuck E. Cheese, like the guy in the costume. Where is he? Where is he?
That's like a different level, bro. I feel like the drug is depending on what your mindset going into it, right? Like I feel like if you're one of those people that hold a lot of inner rage, anything can be a drug that like just sets you off. You know what I mean?
I think it. You know, I think that's a good point. It'll amplify. You know, like drinking. I just you get more touchy feely, more flirtatious. It's just an amplification of what your base really is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That explains why I just become more chill when I drink, dude. I'm just
right.
Like I'm just a little bit more chilled and laid back. Like that's all I am.
See, I don't think you could get angry on weed though. Even if I think like it would chill you out. Even if you're a really angry person.
And that's the thing though. Do angry people smoke? You know, does that type of person like smoke? So it's
for
like
sure.
they don't even
because our friend where's Q? You know, it's a lot of anger in that man, and he's
yeah. That was the first one that came to mind, but I'm like, was he an angry person, or was it just his voice was raspy?
No, no, he's actually a pretty angry man. He's pretty, yeah. Just
I feel like he's definitely an outlier in that. Outside of him, I'm like, I'm so fucking pissed today. Can't wait to roll the joint. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like the angry person.
Once I'm high, I'm gonna beat the shit out of someone. When I'm like, it's not happening.
Don't see that happening.
I kind of agree with Quentin on the like being mad about weed thing. I feel like the person who's mad all the time tries to convince themselves that weed is the only thing that normalizes them. Like I feel like they're the person that's like, well, I'm angry when I'm not on it. And it's like, okay. Like,
I'm useless without my cup of Joe.
Yeah, like those kind of people that it's like, no, that's not.
I hate that too. Dude, I drink coffee pretty much every day, and I hate hearing that. Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee, or like not until I've had my coffee. I don't know why that rubs me the wrong way. I think it's so fucking annoying and played out. I'm just like,
see. I think it's the way they say it, because like for me, if I walk in the morning and I'm extremely tired, I like always like I don't tell them, oh, don't talk to me till I've had my Red Bull. It's more like give me a few moments to wake up before we start having a conversation, because I'm not completely here right now.
I picture you just staring at him like blankly, and then like talking to you for like 5 minutes straight, and then being like, "Huh."
Yes, no, that
like
is a real thing that happens. Like they will like have a full blown like 10-minute conversation with me while I'm clearly like doing something else on my phone and like in depth paying attention, like clicking around, like obviously doing something and putting thought into it. They're like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "About what?" Like I'll be honest with you, I haven't listened to the last like 10 minutes. Like I do that all the time. Like if I'm not paying attention and you're not smart enough to notice I'm not paying attention, I don't feel bad for you for me not paying attention. Like if you start it while I'm already doing something, it's like clearly I'm not paying attention to you. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing at the moment. Like if I'm doing nothing and not paying attention to you, then I get the reason for you to be upset about it.
Why is it called Joe? A cup of Joe.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I feel like this is one of those dumb facts that I should have the answer to.
You really should.
sipping on some, like not me sipping on some Tom. It sounds really odd.
A cup of Joe.
Yeah, cup of Joe.
Oh, I had to look it up. I don't know. Let me see.
Why is it called Joe? But yeah, I think it's just so played out.
All right.
I'm a drug of choice.
Yeah.
In 1914.
What is it?
He banned alcohol consumption. I don't know who he is on all U.S. Navy
Joe.
ships since.
The fucker
Oh,
Joe.
I guess Joe. I don't know. But it says since coffee
Oh,
was
so
the
they
next,
couldn't have alcohol. Oh.
yeah. So coffee was the next strongest thing. So sailors deemed it a cup of Josephus. Josephus. That's what it says.
It was probably the guy
that's
that
probably his
made
name.
sure that they couldn't have alcohol on there. They're like, all right, cool, we're gonna start calling this to upset him.
Oh, okay, and then
Yeah.
it got shortened to Cup of Joe. But yeah, started
They
on a
memed
Navy
him.
ship.
Yeah, it was made out of spite.
Dude, that's all. Joseph Daniels. There we
You
go.
drinking alcohol? Nope. Having a good old Joe though. Fucking Joe.
Having a good old Joe
That's
though.
probably how those conversations went.
Dude, and then that
Maybe.
spreads back to the mainland, and the civilians are using it. Oh my god!
Still, over 100 years later.
Dude,
Literally.
how many things like that? Like the roll your window down. There's no rollers.
Oh
know?
yeah, that's true.
And like
you don't roll it down.
dude, like so like if you right now, if you were to pantomime a phone, like what would you do with your hands? Like if you were like to imitate a phone, okay, right? Like you can see, like kids these days are doing this, and then like, or they'll bar, like they're holding a bar, and they'll do this.
It's weird, dude.
And it makes so much sense. I'm like,
yeah, because they're like holding a.
Yeah.
See,
But to me, this is like,
this
yeah,
doesn't bother me.
yeah.
It's that this just feels natural. But like, if someone were to do this, like, I would get it. Like anything that you motion to like your
what?
ear, like anything like that, and like some sort of like I'm holding something motion, anything like that, I would register as like, oh, they're talking.
I guess that one maybe, but like the one where you're just like straight palming, I'd be like, is their ear hurting?
That's almost like a CIA type thing. It looks like it's like
yeah, just
got him in the sight. Should we take the shot? Yeah, take the shot. Take the shot. Take a shot. But yeah, like
take a shot.
Roll the window down.
Dude, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wags.
I was just
saying. What are you gonna say, Flynn? What are you gonna say?
Yeah.
When you said take the shot, I just pictured us like walking down the street and like have like two of us like dressed up saying that, and then like a little, if somehow we can afford this, like we're like on a shopping mall strip and someone throws Clayton through a window. Take the shot. Clayton's body comes flying out a window. Oh.
Jackass. Hey, Jackass is coming out in October.
I saw that. Number 4, I think.
Forever.
I just feel like it's gonna be sad, bro.
Apparently they didn't. There was like some drama with Bam. I heard
Bam got kicked out because Bam was on drugs and everything like that. Like they won't allow Bam to be in the movie. Like, dude, he's been having like a complete and utter meltdown. Everyone's like, dude, he has not been the same since Dunn passed. They're like, he's a different person. Like, he spiraled into all of his addictions. Like, he went out of his mind. Like, he is in a bad place. And they're like, we don't feel like it's appropriate to have him on this movie in the place that he's in.
Well, I think he shot a couple of scenes, and then like
it was during filming, but they had the agreement with him before filming of like, dude, if you start doing this stuff, we're not gonna have you in it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I saw because I went down a Bam rabbit hole on YouTube the other day, and like I saw him like some skate videos of him, but like now, and it's so weird because he looks like Phil. He looks like a little Phil doing tricks. It's crazy.
One literally just dropped a few hours ago. I haven't watched it yet, but there's one. Yeah, something he did with skating just dropped a few hours ago. And I'm curious. I'm like, is this filmed a while ago, or is this?
I think it's fairly recent. Yeah, because he looked old
Yeah,
in some of
yeah.
the ones I saw.
Well, the ones you're talking about, yeah, where he's like talking about like he lets like anybody come to his skate park at his house because he doesn't actually live there anymore. But he'll post the pin code on social media and like just let anybody come. But if it gets out of hand, they'll change the pin code. Yeah, like you know, people start fucking stuff up, or if like he wants to be left alone, he'll change the pin code. Yeah, but yeah, Jackass 4, dude. That's something we should go see.
I'm down.
Since
I'd be
you
down
want to go
with
see
you
Fast
thinking about
9,
that.
you want to go see Fast 9 solo with your lady.
Hey, it was
I'm
good,
down
dude. I'm
for,
sorry.
like, us to bring like me and Devin, or me and Quentin bring our ladies, and Devin finds someone, brings guy or girl. I don't
What?
discriminate.
Dude, we like bring my laptop into the theater, live stream it on Zoom, talk throughout the entire movie, commentate over it, like a movie tavern. So, like we have like
people would immediately get pissed. Like, what the fuck?
What a dude! I wish this would have like come out during the pandemic, because like during the pandemic you could just rent out the movie theater. You rent out a
Yeah.
section of the movie theater.
That's cool.
the other thing about
would-
that though is like they probably want that, like, you know, people coming out like, oh, Jackass is back. You know, it's a different, because like, you know, like, okay, Space Jam came out, watched it on my
So,
couch.
like,
It's just not the same.
a lot of those were essentially like, it wasn't like you rent the room out and you just watch, like you just pick a movie, rent out that time or whatever. It was, you rent it out for this section of time slot. Here's a list of movies to pick from. What do y'all want to watch? It's
That's
essentially
cool.
like,
Well,
here's
also
what
there
we've
was,
got in our library. Pick what you want to see. Like, we'll put it on there for you.
well, there's also like you could put like a Nintendo Switch, like you could hook up your Switch or hook up an Xbox to it. Like they were offering a bunch of stuff. Yeah, which I mean, it's cool thinking about it now. Now that we can't do it, I'm like, man, I want to do that. Like,
Really? Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
dude, that'd be dope. But yeah,
That would.
All right. I feel we kind of blown our load all together.
See?
Where can they find us, Quentin?
money shot.
And Nobody Named Kevin podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.
All right. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe.